Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, along with the 90s tag list project, I have a couple little side projects that I've been working on. You guys probably recognize this 4A from the Tri-Rail horn. And then this you probably won't really recognize just because it kind of hides on the H2 painted K5HL, early K5HLA hybrid that we have in the collection here. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to work forward in improving the sound quality on those horns. So as some of you might remember, and if you don't, you can always go back to the video of the Heritage 2 painted early K5HL. The person that I bought it from, when they had purchased it, the 4 was lost in transit. Sadly, it actually ripped a hole in the box and fell out somewhere, never to be seen again, sadly. And so when I got it, I had a Heritage 2 painted 4A, same era as the rest of the horn, in the 40K range. And the only issue was that it was a 4A and not a 4, and normally that wouldn't be an issue, but once these horns got to 40K on the tags, they started to do the mid bores on the 4As. They bored them a little bit deeper, not as deep as raised letter, but deeper than half step bore from early 2000s and beyond. And those 4s don't really have the greatest sound to them, and especially trying to use one on a K5HL like that, I was having some real issues between this and the 3 not being happy with each other. So I once again, my father-in-law helped me out and cut me out some of these thin shims, and then I went and drilled the holes, did the countersinks, and then drilled and tapped the bells. So now with that shim in, it brings it up to a half step bore, which would basically make it sound like a 4 for this era, and also a 4A for older eras. And if that kind of confuses you, go back to my 4-bell video where I explain half step, mid bore, and all that stuff, because it does get kind of confusing. So I do have a video on that, and if anything I'm talking about here confuses you, just refer back to that one, because I have a lot of information in that video. And then this one, as I told you guys, this is off my Tri-Rail horn. That's the 40K era K5LA that was in a horrible condition that I really had a rough time restoring. Still working on some things, and one of those is just improving the overall sound. And since the K5LAs from the 40K era don't sound as good as like early 2000s K5LAs, I decided to do another shim for this one, another thin shim, to bring this mid-bore 4A up to a half-step 4, or a half-step bore 4A. So that'll brighten the tone of that and pretty much help the overall sound quality of this horn, because I want this horn to sound better than what it sounds right now. You guys heard my after the big restoration sound clip. Excuse me. Still didn't sound the greatest, but it was clean. It was clear. Just that this bore really affects certain things. Excuse me. Alright, sorry about that. So I'm really trying hard to improve the whole sound quality of that horn, and basically make it sound like a early 2000s K5LA, and not so much like a 40K era K5LA. Really try to brighten the tone up a bit. So one of the things that we're doing is the shim. Another thing that I'm going back through and doing with that horn is I reconditioned the nozzles, but I didn't do one of the steps that I normally do. So I'm going to go back and kind of take care of that. And then in doing this, I found another issue that's slowly coming back with this horn, and that's the corrosion. So even with all the cleaning that I did, this horn is still magically growing new corrosion. And even in optimal conditions, it's literally sat inside on the shelf, climate controlled house, but it's still trying to grow new corrosion. And so one of the issues is the original back caps, which I planned on replacing anyway. I tried to see if I could save them, but I'm still having issues with them. So I am going to replace the back caps. I kind of had that in the back of my mind the whole time. I even set aside back caps for this horn. But one of my big issues is there's still a lot of corrosion down in all these bolt holes. And even after cleaning and everything, I thought that would have stopped the corrosion kind of in its tracks in these holes. And that was not the issue, or that was not the case, I should say. It's still wanting to grow new corrosion. I don't think... So yeah, right there, you guys can see that white stuff right there. That's all new corrosion that's starting right on the edge there. And I don't want this horn doing that anymore. Right there, you guys can see where it's kind of turned white again in that filed area. It's literally making new corrosion. Even some of these bolts that I put in, these are new bolts. That one you can't really see it. Some of these bolts are getting corrosion on them again, and I do not want it to do that anymore. So this horn, it's been a few months. Like I think I finished this project up back in May, and so it's just sat on the shelf since May, and I haven't done anything to it until I wanted to do this shim and nozzle project. And then when I looked at it, I could see at each bolt hole there's new corrosion, and I'm having the same issue on the foot. All that right there, that's all new corrosion that I cleaned off before, and that's because there's still corrosion in these bolt holes that I didn't think was going to be an issue. I thought with all the other cleaning and stuff I kind of stopped it in its tracks, but I'm gonna have to go back with a tool on a Dremel and completely go in here and clean all that corrosion out really well. I'm not going to do that with the back caps since I'm going to be replacing them anyway, but I'll take you over to the horn itself and see if I can actually show you guys very faintly here. Lighting's not the greatest. So you guys can see that little white stuff there. That's new corrosion. All that little white stuff right there, right at the seam, that's new corrosion that's starting, and I have to stop that like immediately. If I knew that was going to be an issue, I would have taken care of that a long time ago. Just a little spot of new corrosion right there. This one you can really see, I could get to focus, the new corrosion starting right there. Let me try and hold this still here. So right there you guys can see new corrosion. Even without any moisture in the air, this horn is still wanting to start new corrosion. So I need to stop that immediately. The surface for the bell, you guys could see that new corrosion that was coming from the bell itself. I think there was even a little bit of corrosion on some of these threads. I can't remember. That one's got a little bit of fogging. I can't really see it that well on here. So even with all the work, this horn is still trying to produce new corrosion, so I need to make sure it does not do that anymore. So like I said, I had already kind of planned on replacing the back caps. The back caps are going to go bye-bye. We're going to put new back caps on, and that'll kind of help with my with the issue that I have leaking air. This horn leaks a lot of air, especially right on the two-bell. I don't know if I can see if I can maneuver it around here a little bit. So these gaps right here where the back cap was actually pried away, this particular bell, the two-bell, if you guys might remember, it has a lot of damage on the support ring in this area. Well, it's basically, I can see right down into the power chamber through that crack. So I need a new back cap that seals that up a little bit better. Still going to leak some air, but nowhere near as bad as now. And then you guys can see right here too, there's brand new corrosion trying to start. So I gotta stop that before it gets any worse and starts ruining the new bolts that I have. See, and even this bottom, look at that. That is all new corrosion that has started from it just sitting here. You guys can see the shiny metal and then all that white stuff. And that's because I didn't clean out the corrosion in the bolt holes for the base, and it's somehow just started to spread back all over this whole base. So I've got to take some time, go back and correct those issues before this horn completely self-destructs. Basically, it's there was just so much corrosion on it right at first, and I got a lot of it off, like almost all of it, except for what was left in the bolt holes in the back caps and in the bolt holes of the base there. So still an ongoing project with this. It's kind of annoying that the horn still wants to make its own corrosion. I basically, if corrosion was something that could be sold, I would have a gold mine right here. But sadly, that's not. Nobody wants corrosion, so that's what's going on with the tri-rail horn. I've got to go back and take care of a lot of that before it gets any worse and starts ruining all the hard work that I've already put into it. And then this is the that you guys have seen and heard, the early K5HL with the Heritage 2 BNSF green paint. That's that other 4A that's sitting over there. That's going to go on that, and so now it'll sound more correct, and hopefully I can iron out some of the sound issues on that and have that be a really good horn, and then go back and redo a lot of stuff on that horn, and hopefully that one will sound better. So that's basically what I have going on for some side projects, guys, along with everything on the on that horn there. So hope you guys enjoyed the little updates here. Not too happy about what that horn is doing right now, but we'll take care of it, make it better again. So hope you guys enjoyed the update. Let me know what you think about all the side projects and my main projects and everything. And till next time, take care.